Whew. Good morning, people. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. So I wanted to start off by saying, wow, the sun is really bright. But I wanted to, say that, yes, last night I felt like yesterday I was tired, yes. And it wasn't like the frequencies were bad. I just fell asleep and didn't wake up till like 5:30. It was around like p.m. and it was around in the afternoon. Um, but usually when I go to sleep, like had take a nap in the middle of the day, I would have a hard time really sleeping at night, and it would just be like horrible. I mean, I had a little bit of a hard time last night, but not really as far as feeling like I didn't get rested. It was the pain of my lymph nodes. So they were opening up a little bit of, I don't say a rash, but a little bit of pain on the armpits, but that's about it. But it was my left arm pain, which is telling me that as the body goes through its processes of acclimating to your environment, it's pushing. So I had even leg pain, like where all the lymph nodes are. The body is opening up and allowing the lymph nodes to release so it doesn't collect the lymphocytes in those different areas. That's why people get lymphoma. That's why they get Hodgkin's disease or non-Hodgkin's disease or lymphomas, cancer of the lymph nodes, whatever, because they don't want to feel pain at all, and they don't want to feel pain in their legs and their arms. I was blowing my nose a lot last night. I didn't even really poop this morning, which is fine because I pooped so much yesterday, and I did eat a lot yesterday. And so it's just, I feel good. I'm energetic. Oh, you see, I look a little bit bigger. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with my boobs seem like they're bigger. Everything around me is bigger, which is good because in this environment, when there's so much growth going on, you have to have some kind of bigness to you. You have to have substance to you. You have to be able to handle these freaking frequencies. If not, you will not survive. It'll just be a really fast downward spiral. And so I feel great. I mean, I actually made some coffee, some Cafe Bustelo, and I put like 3 scoops of espresso stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, I got things to take care of today that I must do around the house and what have you. And so I need to have the energy. And so I'm glad I didn't poop a lot. I'm glad I'm going to use that. My body's going to use that to convert the energy. Okay. And so this is right now the new world is you have to understand that the pains like at night, it was kind of hot for me at night last night, and I was tossing and turning. My husband actually fell asleep on the couch because we were watching the old movie Psycho, Norman Bates and all that. I actually did watch The Bates Motel on Netflix, but we were watching that. He fell asleep, and so I just let him sleep, and I went upstairs and watched a little bit of stuff. And then I'm like, I'm just going to watch stuff on YouTube and fall asleep to that. But yeah, I was tossing and turning, but it was the pain in my arms. It was like having growing pains in your arms and your legs. It was the weirdest feeling, but it wasn't unmanageable. That's the thing. At some point, when you get to a point when you finally release those demons and you get to a point of like equilibrium where you're not feeling like you should be diagnosed with any condition, and you get off all your drugs and all your meds and you've come back from all your surgeries, the pain that you feel every other day or every day relative to the conditions, okay, will be something that you'll manage. And you'll understand even your digestive system. You'll understand that, yeah, you're going to have to release those demons every so often relative to what's going on. What is that? Pooping a lot one day, and then one day maybe not pooping so much, because your body needs to hold on to that energy, hold on to those microbes, hold on to that food source, because you're going to need it for whatever you're planning for that day. You're going to need it for the environment, and then you're not going to force things to come out. You're not going to force things to stop and dry up or freeze itself because you don't want to feel the energy. Like last night, I was fine with feeling the arm pain. I was fine with feeling the leg pain, and it was the upper leg pain. Okay. It wasn't like muscle pain. It was lymph nodes. It was lymph nodes going through the processes. And then when I took a shower this morning, I just blew my nose really hard, blew my nose. Nothing else was coming out, and that was fine. And so I just, go drink my coffee and take care of what I got to take care of. And then, so last night I was going through just a lot of wrapping up the last like 6 years when you think about it, because we know that the Georgia Guidestones, when people say like, oh, you're such a conspiracy theorist, and people were taking offense to me saying that California is going downhill. Oh yeah, California is going downhill. I mean, if you haven't really looked at what's going on with California, and you haven't seen like in the conspiracy world what the future projections and all the terraforming and geoengineering, you're going to think that, oh, it's all like fear porn, fear mongering. You're going to think it's a left right type of situation, like, left is bad and right is good, like conservative versus liberal. It's not that I'm trying to get rid of or saying that I'm trying to get rid of California. No, what it's saying is they're going through a major energy conversion, major geological economic overturn. And there's going to be a lot of climate change going on, floods, earthquakes, all that stuff, and even economical changes. Obviously, you're seeing Silicon Valley leave itself. You're seeing Hollywood slowly leave itself. Okay? And so it's more like, and then the Georgia guys are saying like 500 million left in the world in the future. Now, will it be by 2050 or by 33,000, by the year 3000? Because you think about, 20 or 2100. Yeah, 3000. Well, 2050, yeah, 3000 is way in the future. 2100. Because you have 2050, 2060, 2070, 2080, 2090, and then 2100. So by year 2100, are we going to have 500 million, 7 continents, assuming we have 7 continents, they're not going to come back together like Pangea, right? It'd be like about 71,400,000, 500 something people on each continent if they were to be separated and broken apart. And that would be like everybody, like a little bit more than half of the people in California, spread all over North America, because 7 continents is like North America, South America, Europe, and Oceania, and Africa, Asia, Russia, or something. I don't have them all, memorized. But yeah, I mean, the future projections, if you read the Georgia Guidestones, it's also my book, okay, is that, yeah, maintain humanity under 500 million. And there's going to be a huge geoengineering, economic engineering for the next 50 years. And it's starting already. Okay? And so, yeah, 500 million future population divided by 7 continents, assuming that we still have 7 continents, that's not going to either go off into the ocean or break apart and make 8 continents. Who knows? And so anyway, so we're going to watch the systematic decline of the human population. And we're going to have like a Hunger Games. It's going to be the best prototype is going to win. And so when I see people say, oh yeah, life is short, be happy. Now, I'm not going to say who the person who said that. She'll know if she's watching this. But it's like, that's again like casting spells. And so whenever I see that, and I don't mean to see something like that, like, obviously when I go through my newsfeed, you can't help but see stuff that people post. When I read that, I immediately have to counter it and balance out that type of spell that was being casted upon me because I read that. Okay? And so when someone's always saying stuff like that, then I have to unfollow them because I don't want to have to keep using my energy to counter it. Why do you have to counter it? Because it's called equalizing forces. When someone says, oh, you're horrible, you're stupid, then you better have somebody in your world that says that you're beautiful and you're amazing. Because when you have some people in your world that say that you're horrible and stupid and everything else, that's how they destroy you. But if someone says that you're amazing and you're beautiful all the time, that will also destroy you. Okay, so you have to have a balance of both. And you don't want people saying that you're beautiful and amazing all the time, or even at all, really. You don't need to live on that. And you don't want people saying that you're horrible and stupid. And so, why even place a judgment call on someone? Just offer information that's going to help us grow and develop and release the demons in a balanced way. You don't need to lay it on thick and say people are so beautiful and so amazing. And you also don't have to say that people are so horrible and so stupid, okay? And so life may be short for you, but it's long for me. Life may be long for me and it's short for you because you have professed it. You have cast that spell onto yourself and everyone around you. And so we project what we identify with, and then we bring in believers, and that's the whole politics, religion, science, dogmas. And then we try to convert them, or we keep reinforcing our intentions on other people. And so you see me always saying, you guys, I really believe it. You guys could live, but some of you don't believe it, and you will keep countering me and keep insisting and reinforcing your own life is short. And that's fine. If you don't like that saying that I'm saying life is long, that you could live potentially indefinitely, Unfollow me, block me. You don't need to hear my information because it's obviously taken away from you. Okay? And so, then we project what we identify with, and then we bring in believers, and we try to convert them, or we keep reinforcing our intentions. Life could be long for you, but you keep saying it's short for you. And so people speak their own destruction or their own inception. So I'll never say life is short for me and long for you, because why the hell would I shortchange myself? Right? So if you think life is short, you will cast spells on the people who follow you and make their life short, because you will recommend them all the pills, power supplements, and detoxes and operations, because they don't know any better, but they believe what you say. But to believe what you say. And that's when it comes to being someone who influences people, even on a small scale or a large scale, whatever you say, people are going to believe it or disbelieve it. And it'll turn into a religion of following you and saying you're amazing, or hating you and saying you're stupid. No matter what you say, you will always have some kind of religious type of following of people loving you and hating you because of what you said. And so this is what I'm saying. People are powerful with their words. Very powerful. They don't realize how much power they have, and they can be very careless with their words. Very careless. And so if you think life is long, I will cast a spell on people who follow me and make their life long, because they know better. They were told life was short by someone they trusted, and now they're being given a choice. So if we're going to cast spells on people, make sure that's the kind of spells you would want someone to cast on you. I would never want anyone to tell me that my life is short, that I should and deserve to die now or in the future. I don't care if they dress it up with, oh, be happy before you die, be happy. What the fuck does that mean, be happy? What the hell? What, have an orgasm every single time? That it? Okay, that's not happiness. That's just under the influence. That's another spell being cast on you. So death isn't a happiness unless you're under the influence. And that's what I mean. And people say, oh yeah, I hope I die happy, or you should be happy before you die. Yeah, okay. You want your friends and family to be under the influence. So when they're dying, they don't feel anything, and they don't really know that they're dying, but they do, but they don't. And you're not really saying, hey, well, maybe you have a chance. Maybe I honor your life. Your life is so fucking precious. Why would I want you to die even happy? You know? Oh, that's why I get so annoyed when I see that, because it is the spellcasters, and that's the love, and the hate crowd. Okay? And you guys know who you are. That's why you kind of don't say too much on my Facebook, because you know who you are. So death isn't happiness unless you're under the influence. And I say peace. And so I will continue to say your life is long and you deserve to live, even if you resist me and hate me for it. Okay, so someone asked me last night, well, who's hating on you? Oh, anyone that doesn't think the way I think. They don't like me, they think I'm stupid, or they're like, oh yeah, Jillian's just, whatever. Even under their breath, they'll say it. So if you truly believe life is short, I will never get in the way of destroying your followers and countering you. Okay, so when I saw that person say life is short and be happy, I wasn't going there to say, oh yeah, life could be long, but you are, I'm not gonna get in the way of your food. Because in a lot of ways, when you're saying life is short, play hard, or life is short, be happy, or whatever, you're feeding on your friends and family. You're feeding on your audience. You don't want them to actually hear a different story, because if they heard a different story that would counter what their reality is, you would lose them as a friend, right? Because they weren't your friend, they were your food source, and you are their food source. You guys are both food sources for each other. So of course you're not gonna say anything that's gonna make them like, oh God, that's weird. Oh God, that's stupid. And so then you guys keep feeding off each other until you cannibalize each other out of existence. That's the whole nature of Facebook and friends and family and people who are homogenized in your environment. You are a food source to each other. So I won't get in the way of your food source. If you choose to drop seeds of hope for the future, you'll drop the seeds. Oh, believe me, you will. If you don't want people to be exposed to new information, it's because you're feeding off them. See, when I say whatever the fuck I say, and I don't care what people think of me, because I don't need their love, I don't need their hate, I don't need any of their support. I really don't need people to love me or hate me, because I could feed myself. I don't need your validation. Validation equals food, okay? And so when you're too afraid to say anything different on your Facebook, it's because you are feeding off your friends and family, and they're feeding off of you. So I won't starve you. Happy feeding, slurp. And so then I go to the next thing of like, well, if people don't like me. And people are like, well, who doesn't like you? Oh, many people don't like me. Believe me, I know it. I'm not immune to it. Of course, when you say something different and people are so homogenized And they believe even, all the bullshit with the whole J world and everything because they don't understand it. And, or they could be racist. They could be, who knows? So many isms and all that stuff. So I would say if I / vac and then scenes bring out the worst / disease in you. So some people who have so much crap in their system and so much stuff, they get a vaccine and they get an adverse reaction. They hold it within. It wasn't that the vaccine did anything to them except trigger their immune system that we triggered anyway somewhere along the way. So if I, as Jillian, who really is not a bad person at all, people that know me, they're like, okay, she's just a regular person who has viewpoints. Okay. So if I, / vaccines, bring out the worst / disease in you, enough for you to hate me, but still attracted to me, it means you have too much hate in you. And like attracts like. You see so much of yourself in me, you can't help but be attracted to that part of me that brings up the hate in you. I could just be walking and I could be talking and I would trigger that hate in you because you hold that hate within. Some of you don't like me because I have mentioned something about your politics, your religion, or your science, your occupation, your lifestyle, your belief systems. Since there's no separation between you and those belief systems, anyone questioning it triggers something potentially trying to take it away because of how addicted you are to those thought processes. The fear of abandonment, the fear of scarcity, the fear of loneliness. When someone mentions pain is necessary and you've been told your whole life that pain means you're going to die, anyone who embraces pain and faces it triggers a fear of death in you. Some people are so full of pain they can't handle anyone embracing it because they couldn't embrace it themselves. They're too afraid they're gonna fucking die from the pain. Some of you bring out the love in me. Some of you I get such a great feeling from, but I also don't want the love to be excessively all over me. And you're not excessive, but when I get attracted to you in your Facebook, it's because you bring that out in me. Some of you are all about love, 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 but you keep it to your world. Sometimes I'm attracted to that, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes your love and all your love that you just throw up on people is too much for me. And so I'm like, no, too much. So some of you bring out the youth and creativity in me. And so I do appreciate what you offer and I thank you for it. The 12 different personalities in me and all the different traumatic experiences as well as intellectual experiences recognize every single personality in you. The trauma in me recognize the trauma in you, and if all you are is trauma, angst, and bitter about your ex, your in-laws, and people who you are still entanglements with, when you haven't let go of all that trauma from the past and it comes out in your Facebook daily, your complaints about your ex-husband, your ex-wife, your child, your husband, then I have to unfollow because you're so traumatized. It will bleed all over into my world, and I don't want to take on anyone's trauma. Okay, so when someone is just completely bitter about their life, about their ex, their husband, their wife, their kids, and all that, and that's every day, it's the same stuff, or they're always like, oh God, I'm in such pain, this is so horrible, and they're not explaining the pain or giving it another bright side to it, all they're doing is just bleeding. And, when someone is bleeding on you, you have to walk away because who wants to be bled on 24/7 or vomited on 24/7, right? And so I released those demons a long time ago. I mean, people have to release the demons. That's fine. Release the demons to the people that you don't mind destroying. Okay, release those demons on them. And if, some people in the J world will have to release those demons. And they'll have to do it in a constructive way, or they have to do it in such an aggressive way that I have to kind of walk away and be like, you know what, you'll do this on your own. I can't be a part of this. It's not my deal. I can't take on all that trauma. Just like those policemen with having dogs, they have to take on all that trauma and then they have to release it on that animal because the animal absorbs stress. Okay, so sometimes you just have to realize you're gonna have to deal with your angst and your shit and your vomit on your own because nobody wants to be around that 24/7. That's a lot of shit and vomit and angst and bitterness that even, I don't know how kids can deal with that on a daily basis when people have issues with their exes. Okay? Jesus Christ. That's why it's like, I feel bad for some of these kids out there. They're caught in the middle between parents who are fighting amongst each other and taking sides and all that. It's horrible. That's why I'm glad my husband, he understands that sometimes you have to walk away because if you get caught up in that shit, the kids will get screwed from hearing the parents back and forth because they can't get along. And sometimes you can't get along with your the mother or the father of your kids, and you shouldn't be forced to hang out together. And sometimes it takes somebody walking the fuck away so they can save themselves, save the kids, and even save that mother from all the bullshit that could happen because people coming together that shouldn't be coming together. And so, yeah, forcing anyone to stick around when they know it's bad for people is the cruelest thing you could do to someone, and to shame them and guilt them. Oh, they should have stuck around. I don't understand why someone is not around for their kids, their husband, their wife, or whatever. Sometimes you just can't, because you see what goes on. People vomit their trauma on everybody, and everyone that's in the path of it, they will get hit by it. You see all the trauma that I've inflicted upon the world, and so you had to unfollow. That's great. I had to use this venue to do it, because I wasn't going to go destroy my husband and destroy my marriage. So I do it on Facebook. You all have the chance to block and delete. Then I have a safe place that I received a lot of flack from it, but that's okay. I can handle the backlash of vomiting on Facebook. I can handle it, because there was no place for me to vomit. And I did vomit on my own too, and release my own demons on my own. But sometimes you just have to say stuff, and then finally learn how to say it in a productive, constructive way where it isn't super like destructive to people, places, and things. Because if you can't learn how to articulate your trauma, then it'll be all love, 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 or hate, 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 and bitterness, or all about your distractions, your kids, your politics, your religion, your science, worshiping a person, place, or thing. If you can't constructively release the demons. And that's what we're seeing right now. People cannot constructively release the demons, so guess what? They're channeling it through things that will have to take on that stress. And most likely, if they don't know how to release and rebuild, the things that they're using all the time will destroy them, and then they will destroy the things that they are using to channel that stress. And so now I know why people like me and hate me, and why people will accept my friend request or not, and why I won't friend request some people. If they friend request me, I'll consider it. So yeah, friend requests and denying friend request and whatever, there's a whole science behind that. It's not like I'm making a big deal out of like virtual reality, but there's a whole science behind it. Okay? There's a reason why you don't accept someone's friend request. Just because there's trolls out there that don't have like one person on their account, and it's like not even a real person. You're like, why do I want all these fake people? And some people really piss you off because of what they're saying about whatever, and they can't handle your Facebook posts, and they don't even want to unfollow you if they're your friend, because they don't consider you anything but just an annoyance. And I completely understand that, because I have the same feelings about certain people too. So it's totally understandable. And so I understand myself and the world I live in. If you want to see who people are, look at their friends list. Some people are so homogenized, they will not allow any new diversity in their life. Okay, so you see it's just their family, their friends, and their particular belief system, politics, religion, and science. And then some people are so diverse, they don't know who they are. You can't tell when you see a person that has so much different types of people on their Facebook. Yeah, you'd be like, wow, they're like so diverse, they're so open. You can be so open, you've been cannibalized by the world. You're everybody's friend. Do you have no discrimination? Which, okay, that's fine, but you absolutely have like no discernment of what kind of people that are on your Facebook. You just take anyone. I mean, even just those girls that have all the big boobs that are really, they're selling stuff and they're not even real people. That's just a body to you. That's what I'm saying. And so look at people's Facebook so you can see the diversity, which is people that are not even real, and also other things. And so you're not like, who is this person? What is their thoughts? What is their beliefs? What is their lifestyle? What is their whole thing? And if you can't really tell from their Facebook because there's nothing on it, or there's so many people on it, you don't know who the hell they are, and they post weird stuff, then you're like, okay, this is weird. Okay. And so some people are so diverse, they don't know who they are. We don't even know who they are. And so you are the government. I am the government. You hate the government. You hate aspects of yourself. Okay? And so when you are intolerant to certain things, it means you have so much of it in you that anything more would make you feel overwhelmed. Okay? Some people are like all about love, 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 and hate, hate, hate. And you're so like throwing at the love and the hate at me. You bring out that in me, because we all have different aspects of love and hate and anxiety and all the different personalities and feelings. And when you're around someone that throws it at you and you feed into it, then they're bringing up the hate in you. That's why people who argue with each other all the time, whether it's an ex, whether it's like a person with a different lifestyle or belief system, you keep them on just so you can argue back and forth, you're bringing on that love all the time that's going to destroy you. You're bringing on all the hate all the time that's going to destroy you. And so, when you're intolerant, when you finally say, okay, I had enough, I can't deal with your excessive love or your excessive hate, because I'm tired of having that shit destroy me. I don't want to destroy you, because every time you love me, I'm going to love you, and then we destroy each other. Every time you hate me, I'm going to hate back on you, and then we destroy each other. And so I'm done with that. But it's hard. It's a very difficult thing to extricate yourself from, because it's so addicting. The love and the hate are so addicting. It took me months and years to finally stop responding to my trolls. I've stopped responding to my trolls. I'm done with them. Even through email, I'm done with them. And they will send me email after email and say, oh, you're this and you're that. And they used to be all like, we'll react from it and want to like go and be like, oh, either say you're stupid back or try to get them to like me. And that's not going to fucking happen. And so finally, you just have to just stop responding to things that are overwhelming you, trying to destroy you. And that means people that love you so much. I don't want people constantly just stroking my ego. I want them to offer information that's new to me, that's going to, further, my information and also further you. And that's what I want in my society and in people. I don't want people bringing up all the fucking hormones in me all the time, because that's obviously not a very long-term venture. That's a short-term, oh, let's have some pleasure, because even hate is pleasurable to people. And then everyone's supernovas and they all orgasm together, called dying from that chemical reaction, because then you have death and reproduction. That's exactly what our society is based upon. All the death and reproduction. How much pleasure, how much pain, how much kindness, how much religion, how much politics, how much science, that we can fuck with people so much and make their life out the door easier. But then you're not given any choice that maybe you could do something different. If you want to get all your friends and family all pleasurable in dying on the way out the door, not giving anyone a chance of a new thought process, not even your fucking kids a chance for a new freaking thought process, that's hard to watch. So then I'm so intolerant to that much love and that much hate that people have for their children, have for their friends and their family. Because when you have that much love and hate for friends and family, they're going to be destroyed by it. Because remember, homogenization. That love will homogenize people and then take them down. That hate will homogenize people and take them down. Until you see how this shit works spiritually. And so just like when you have too much garlic in your system. Okay, so when you're intolerant to certain things, it means you have so much of it in you that anything more would make you feel overwhelmed. So I'm crossing my arms. So right now I'm in a closed position. So you can analyze that if you want. Just like when you have too much garlic in your system, your body can't handle it anymore and you start pooping, releasing the demons, spouting off. Oh yeah. Check your intolerances. And even people who are like so careful and not saying anything on Facebook, they're so polite. You can see that they're holding back so much. That's obvious too. When people are like, when they deal with you and they're not sure even how to deal with you, so they're overly excessively polite. You're like, oh God, okay. Just say what you fucking mean. I mean, obviously, yeah, if you really are that hateful towards me and you have to actually check yourself and be so excessively polite, then you have a lot, then you are holding back so much that it's going to come out. And it's going to come out in other ways, and it's going to destroy people around you if you have to hold back that much, that you have to be so excessively polite to people. So check your intolerances, because it means that you hold that within and that you're scared that it might come out. And when it does come out, it is a painful release of the message verbalized and articulated. And is it a painful release? Yeah, it is a painful release, people. That's why people, when they're so intolerant, they hold that within. When they see things in politics, religion, science, and sexual orientation, and they're so intolerant to it, they hold aspects of that within, and they don't want it to come out. So if they're against it, just like you see these people like some of these pastors that you found out come out to be actually homosexual, and they're so anti, they're homophobic. You find out they actually are what they have hated so much. And so, yeah, check your hate, because it means most likely you hold so much of that within and you're too afraid it's going to come out, or you'll be exposed that you are what people are having an issue with, even yourself, because of the social constructs in our society. That's why the whole thing with Budweiser was so funny, because then you saw everyone that had a problem with that. They hold that within on some level. Absolutely. But believe me, you can't say that to them in person, because they'll be like, that's fighting words. That's fighting words. And so too much diversity, people are unsettled. Not enough diversity, people are clones. Homogenize your evolution so you can save yourself and your genes. Now, I didn't know that actually a homogenized evolution was something in PubMed, because I'm like, you don't want to completely just like be so scattered and so diverse that you're evolving every day and taking yourself down notch by notch. And so you have to systematically evolve, which means that you'll have to break apart a little bit and go through that process and build yourself back up again. Release the demons, break apart a little bit, release the demons, and build yourself back up again. And it's a process. You saw the last 6 years of me releasing demons systematically, and it was a layer by layer, piece by piece, ideology by ideology. I had to go back and look and relook at things, and it wasn't just all one time, like all of a sudden I just evolved. I broke apart at one point, like all of a sudden everything broke apart and then came back together again in like a day. No, that doesn't happen that way. The evolution of a person, the evolution of their intellect, the evolution of their body, their mind, their spirit, their adaptation to the changing environment is a systematic thing that you have to support properly, and you have to give time to it. And so it's called an homogenization in evolution. Biotic homogenization, the gradual replacement of native biotas. Okay, so you have native biotas, native cells, ideas, by locally expanding non-natives, is a global process that diminishes floral and faunal distinctions among regions. So it's a terraforming. Although patterns of homogenization have been well studied, their specific ecological and evolutionary consequences remain unexplored. You're seeing it right now. I am biotically homogenizing the gradual replacement of native biotas. I'm taking what was native to me relative to what native is, where I came from, either Vietnam or where I was raised in Silicon Valley. And it's a gradual replacement of the native biotas by locally expanding non-natives. I was bringing in information from my husband, bringing in information from my environment, bringing in information that's non-native from the internet into my world, and I'm adapting to it. And I'm feeling the pain of release of the old world and pain of rebuilding. And now it's manageable. Now I understand it. Okay? And so when you Google, when you think about the evolution of the world, we're going through a major lobotomization, a frequency change, that some people are going to go through the dementia, go through the Alzheimer's, go through cancer, disease, and chronic illness, and they won't survive. And they're also going to go through natural disasters. And so when you Google the future of your economy, like in 2050, better make sure you can handle all the natural disasters and things that are projected because of climate change that are prone to your area. So if you're near Lake Erie, okay, or if you're, any near bodies of water, there's going to be a lot of fungus growth, a lot of growth. That you couldn't go in the water. That's because you have issues that will get triggered as soon as something foreign enter your body in some way. Okay, so you're gonna have to know that or you might be experiencing droughts, floods, hurricanes, tsunamis, monsoons, dust clouds, dust devils, or what do you call those? Haboobs. Okay, which you find like in Phoenix or in Arizona when those big dust clouds come in, and it's bad. So if you're in the coastal regions or near bodies of water that could be prone to algae growth, sea level rises, if you're near volcanoes and earthquakes, tsunamis and all that, just because it says that in the future by 2050 the area will be booming, that's assuming you can survive everything between now and 2050. So if you're in California, again, better rethink, could you handle that society going downhill on a major scale, on some level? In Ohio, the worst will be flooding from the rivers if they make it to my part, like the Ohio River or Maumee River and all that. Tornadoes, blizzards, potential drought, yeah, I mean, I can't see a tsunami unless a huge meteor made it past the GPS systems and couldn't get knocked out by a nuclear warhead as far as Lake Erie. And so I would not look to the future as what they would project will be a booming economy as a reason to move or stay in a place because we're in a reconfiguration. Okay? So you're like, oh yeah, California is never going to go off the map. Parts of it will be. And are you in the place that it will be? And will you be able to handle the energy conversion? Will you survive the droughts? Will you survive the economic downturns? Will you survive the pandemics? Are you prepared to deal with the flooding? Are you willing to move out and find something? Because you could, let me tell you, in the future, all the different economies in all the areas will be booming on some level, but it'll be less people. But it'll be booming, assuming you survive. Because there's right now 8 billion people and future 12.9 billion people. And when they get people online over there in Africa, in different parts of the world, some will survive, some won't. They'll bring people from different parts of the world into America. They do it all the time. They have done it. They've opened up the gates to America. Come on in if you can handle it. So you're all replaceable, but you have an edge on those that are out there that are wanting to come into America because you understand how this shit works. You understand what it takes to survive. You already have the resources, the lifestyle. So why would you die? Why would you allow yourself to die, allow your kids to die, and have somebody else take your place to be here temporarily and then die too? What's the point of doing that? And so I would look at if you could survive any natural disaster today in your area. Could you survive economic disaster? Could you survive another pandemic in your area? Okay? So look at all the future maps in the conspiracy world of sea levels changing, global warming. Look at even your area, like, some parts of, let me see, like, I'm going to mention, just so to remind you guys, some of you are still really just, your head's in the clouds. Find that map again. Oh gosh. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, here we go. I love it. Love it, love it. So you see there's a big black mark. God, I wish I could super zoom it. But right there to the left of the Mississippi. Or is it to the right? To the left. Well, you see parts of Indiana, all of Illinois. Underneath that, if you go straight down all the way to the coast, to Louisiana, and parts of Mississippi, that map. And then you see over there, it's a U.S. Navy map of future America. And then you see, like in the west, you see, is that Arizona? Yeah, Arizona is mostly gone. Jesus. Nevada. I wish I could just, but it's okay. But yeah, and then in parts of Florida, you'll see a tiny, tiny peninsula of Florida. A lot of the East Coast, the coast is going to be receded back. Oh yeah. So take a look at that map. I'm going to just share it. And remind yourself where you are in this. What are you going to do? A lot of California gone. Okay? Remind yourself. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And you wait till the last minute, it'll be too late. And it could happen right now. It could happen in the next year. Okay? That's what I'm saying, guys. Don't wait till the last minute. Don't be like, oh, it's not going to happen, because that's what happens. When people are deer in headlights, they don't make any moves. They don't make any moves because they don't think it's going to happen to them until it does, and it's too late. So that's all I'm going to say, because I got things to do. And, I feel big. I feel like, and I'm going to work off some of this energy today. Okay, so let me see this map. Okay. Still is hard. Yeah, Utah, Nevada. Yeah, parts of Arizona, parts of Colorado, little parts of Wyoming, parts of Idaho. More central and Eastern Washington will be okay, allegedly. Most, the coasts of Oregon and definitely most of California will be gone. Coastline. Yeah, there's going to be a coastline in oh my God. Yeah, you guys. And then anything below Wisconsin, even parts of below Wisconsin, yeah. God. Part of Minnesota. Or no, it's Indiana. Yeah, Minnesota too. Anyways, parts of Missouri is already getting thrashed. Parts of, is that Alabama? Yeah, parts of Alabama too. Huh. And so Ohio is going to is untouched according to this map. Ohio, PA is doing okay. West Virginia, parts of Kentucky, but not completely. Parts of Kentucky. Tennessee, half of Tennessee gone. Okay, so just understand that this map is meaning something. Just look at this map as a reference and a reminder. The things will be okay, like Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, as soon as you can handle the tornadoes. Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas will be okay. New Mexico. But every other state. And it's crunch time over here on the East Coast. Like, we're in a narrow part. The middle of the U.S., if you can handle, again, that will be a lot of, if you can handle the tornadoes that go through. But it looks like the tornadoes are happening over in west of us. Illinois, Indiana. Okay? So, and south. So this map is something to live by at this point. It's the only really tangible thing that you have to make some kind of decision about your future if you plan to live. All right, bye.